What's up and welcome to the first episode of Whiteboard Wednesday, where we're going to explore topics and I'm going to try to explain things using a whiteboard. This week's first episode, we are going to talk about all things speed. Primarily, the three main ways that you are going to get faster. I'm not going to be so naive as to say that these are the only ways you get faster, but I do think that these are the main ways that you are going to get faster. We're talking about speed, linear speed, running, straight, fast, okay? And these are all as they relate to physics. We're going to talk about force and the application and that sort of a thing, but we're going to try to get practical and know how to apply these concepts as well, okay? So, three ways to get faster. Way number one is you're going to increase the size of the force. So pretty simple. Every time that you put your foot into the ground, you're applying force into the ground. If you can increase the size of that force, it's going to propel you further faster. Now, what's the easiest way to apply more force? Well, it's to get stronger. Stronger athletes apply more force. How do you get stronger? You lift weights. Primary big movements, we're talking deadlifts, squats, etc. Stronger athletes put more force into the ground, meaning that they will also be faster athletes. But that's not all of it. There's other parts to the equation. So what's next? To improve the direction of your force. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, Newton's third law tells us that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. That means if I'm trying to jump straight up as high as I possibly can, then the force that I need to put into the ground needs to be directly the opposite of that. So I need to be putting force directly down into the ground in order to go up vertically as far as possible. Obviously, if you're trying to go forward, then the force I'm trying to put into the ground is more backwards. So, as a simple application of this, if we are running at our max velocity, and we have our sad-faced little man here, I'm a terrible drawer, please forgive me. If he is contacting the ground in front of his center of gravity, on his heel. Now, in front of his center of gravity, on his heel, that means that the force, it basically follows his shin angle, right? So it's going right now backwards. If you're contacting the ground in front of you, you're putting on the brakes, you're going slower. But if you could be more vertical at max velocity, cycle your leg underneath you, contact the ground on your midfoot directly beneath your center of gravity, then you're propelling yourself forward because you're pushing the ground away from you backwards. So that is way number two, improve the direction of force. And how are you going to do that? Well, it's going to be with posture drills, mechanics drills, and all kinds of sprinting drills where you're learning the correct postures, techniques, and the ability to cycle your legs properly underneath you. So mechanic drills is how you're going to improve the direction of force. Lastly is increase the speed of the force. Now this one sounds kind of obvious, but the faster that you're putting that force into the ground, the faster it's going to propel you forward. Very simple. Now how do we do that? Well, sprinting. The more that you sprint, the faster you're going to start going. Plyometric drills like med ball throws, bounds, jumps, leaps, and maybe some very light Olympic weightlifting or explosive weightlifting in different ways like that. So number three is increase the speed of the force. Now as a side note here, guess what's not on this board? Endless hours of agility ladder drills wearing a mask and a parachute behind you. Now, I like cool toys as well, and they have their applications in various times, but if you're spending endless hours on the agility ladder when you're not actually moving very far, then it's probably not helping you. If your goal is to run straight as far and as fast as you can, then spending endless amount of times on an agility ladder where you're not actually going anywhere is not going to help you. So obviously then that leaves the basics. We got to get good at the basics, learn good sprint mechanics and practice them regularly, get a good weightlifting program, and add a good amount of plyometric drills as well. Now, if you guys know me, you know that I'm all about the basics. I like my fun, fancy exercises here and there to spice it up, but the main bulk portion of your training needs to be mastering the basics over and over and over again. And once you do it again, get a little bit better at them. So master those basics and you will run faster. This has been episode number 1 of Whiteboard Wednesdays. Let me know what you guys want me to talk about next. Shoot me a DM or leave a comment below. I'd be happy to get after that. I'm going to be hopefully doing these every Wednesday for the next several weeks. I'm looking forward to learning with you guys, growing with you guys, and getting better. So this has been OK Fitness, Educate, Motivate, Dominate, and we'll see you next Wednesday.